Alright guys, all muscle back, Project Redbird. Been a delay on Project Redbird. I've had other projects, I've had bad weather, I've had family gatherings, but now we're back on. We've got a beautiful sunny day out here in California. And I'm going to go through and show you a couple things that I've got so far. First off, some part numbers. The sway bar end links. We got a move part number K700 534. I use these in the rear. I use the same number here, but 532s for the front. So that's the part numbers for that. Also, the power steering pressure line on these F bodies is like 99% of the time it's leaking. And I have 4 F bodies at this point, and they're all leaking. What I have on this one here, as you can see, what it does is it sits in the car, in an upright position just like this from the pump, and then it goes down into the rack, and the steering fluid would just build up around this crimp here and then trail down all the way down to the elbow and then eventually just drip onto the floor. So the power steering pressure line, Delco part number. We got a Delco and then we got a GM part number either way. 191, 47, 47, 4. They sell a shitload of these, I'll tell you that. They're like I said, 99% of the time they're always leaking. Also, sway bar. The Z28 that I had a smaller diameter sway bar than the WS6 sway bar. So we put the WS6 sway bar in here, and it's got a little bit bigger diameter. There's the end links there, and I went ahead and this was all rusted and corroded, so I sanded that down and painted it, so it looks nice in there. It looks like we got a blown out boot and somebody did some backyard stuff here. So we're probably gonna change out these tie rods here. It is a little bit loose on here, and we want to get a nice stiff steering feel. So we're gonna change those out. Also, what I'm having to deal with is if you know about these cars, the 98 to 02 Trans Ams had, or Firebirds and Trans Ams both, they had a dual headlight system, and this one only has a single. So the wiring harness, I'm currently working on that. As you can see, I've got it all spliced in, and I'm going to go ahead and figure that whole setup out. And we got the front bumper off. As you can see, there's just a bunch of styrofoam and rat poops that, like I said, this car had been sitting in a field for a couple of years before I got to it. And so we're going to clean all that out and then reassemble this area here, put together with all the wiring, and then we won't have to deal with that anymore. So let's go ahead and show you the interior, do a little walk around on it. There's the front bumper, comes out as a complete piece. It's a pretty big front bumper. There's those rear end links, same as the fronts. They're just a little bit different part number. But as far as that, haven't got anything done back there at all. And this is the inside so far. Got the door panels all in. I had to change the actuators. I'm sure I've already mentioned that. The wiring in here is all 9802. Got it all set up. Airbag. Changed the airbag out from the Camaro one. And usually the Trans Ams have the gray buttons here. These ones are black. I have the gray ones, but I kind of like the black. It looks good in there. And the seats. I don't think I had the seats in here, or the center console. The seats, I actually found a set of seats that were the black color, not the ebony. The one that came in here was the ebony and black are the same, but the ebony is the darker color black. The other one is just called the charcoal, I believe. The problem is with these is their power and everything, they just don't have the the lumbar support, or usually when you see the Trans Ams, they have the little ruffles in here, and that has like a little air bolsters, and 99% of the time they don't work anyway, so people unplug them. So that's pretty much it. Let me walk around the other side. I changed out the headlight. One of the headlights was looking pretty bad. If you know, these headlights, they start doing this, and then water gets in and destroys your pigtails. So I had to replace the whole tail light wiring section back there from one side to the other. See, as you can see, this one's starting to do it. Not as bad as the other one. The other one was completely gone. I might change this out. I have a new set of these that I've been saving them for something, but I don't know if I want to use them. But I have like 2 or 3 sets of the honeycomb style, so I might use those. And then I also have a new filler panel here that is not faded out. I'll be using that. Same thing on this door here. Here's the infamous crack on these. Never figured that out. They always crack. There's a nice shot of the dash from the passenger side. I haven't put the latch on there. I was dealing with that because the one that I had was a charcoal, and that didn't work out for the black, so it was going to be a two-tone, so I didn't want to do that. So I had to swap it out for the black piece, and I had to change out the key cylinder. I'm still working on that. So here's the back shot of the carpeting. Oh, another issue. I'm having an issue with the radio. The radio fires up and works. All the buttons seem to work properly. Takes in the CD and ejects it fine, but I'm getting no sound out of the speakers. So I've got a little issue there that I've got to figure out. I had to solder in a new harness there because somebody cut the pigtail, and that was a little job. But anyways, she's coming along. Another shot of underneath the hood here. Got the ram air box fitted on here just nice, and all it took was a nice little straight piece for the LS1 style throttle body. Let's get you a shot from underneath. So usually when I get under here, this whole area here is just completely obliterated with power steering fluid, because this rack is always leaking, and this happens to be the hose that I replaced. See, the buildup would build up on the top of this crimp here, and then it would just follow itself down and it would leak. And as you can see, there's a little puddle that was just developing under here. It would just slowly leak, one drip at a time. But you know, if you're driving and it's leaking, and that's when the pressure is being created, and you're steering and this and that, it's just gonna go all the way back to the back of the car. So we don't want that to happen. So we took care of that leak. I don't like leaks, so as you've seen in my previous videos, I resealed the engine and took care of a lot of leaks that were on the engine, from the rear main seal to the oil pan, and a couple others. So anyways, that's what I've got done so far, and signing off on this one. So I'll see you on the next round on whatever else I'll be working on. Alright guys, until next time.